Joe Mantell is an actor who isn't well known, which is too bad because he's actually been nominated for an Oscar and he's been in several great movies. He was in Marty, which won the Best Picture in 1955. He had the famous last line in Chinatown, and he was in Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. And he caught my imagination there because the Birds starred Tippi Hedren, who was my fantasy screen goddess when I was a kid, and later on became my employer and my mentor and my friend. So I thought it was time for Joe Mantell to get his due. So this is called The Ballad of Joe Mantell. In Minneapolis, when I was 12, everyone looked like Joe. Bowling alley nose, brown eyes, not small, not tall, just an ordinary guy in the movies. Marty's best friend, Angie, the everyman. What do you want to do tonight? I don't know, Angie, what do you want to do? Talk like that I heard everywhere growing up. When Joe said it in the movies, he got nominated. At the Hollywood Theater, our Mirage Emporium, alive with buttered projections and electric popcorn illusions, glamour's faint incense wafted all the way from California. I lied about my age to get my first job as an usher, just had to get into show business. Took breaks behind the shimmering lame screen amid dusty speakers and broken chairs, beheld the world in reverse, Joe's light seeping over my face. Quelling hysteria in a diner, he looked like Mr. Johnson, my 8th grade woodshop teacher, who taught me to use a miter box. Take it easy, lady, there's not a bird in sight. He calmed Hitchcock's newest blonde, more beautiful than a perfectly cut spice rack. Perched on a metal film canister, I watched her fight off murderous gulls with a flashlight larger than any I'd ever seen at Sears. Beacons come bigger, I figured, in movie land, awash in lights. The Star and Tribune improbably proclaimed she came from our hometown. Could she once, I marveled, have attended this very theater where I sat in the dark? Clutching my feeble usher's light, ill-fitting uniform askew on my frame as if hung on a drunken mannequin, my teenage heart called silently to the backwards blonde on screen, "Come home, I'm here." On the set, I imagined her with Joe, relaxed, designer dressed, laughing between takes, awaiting my arrival in her life. Universal answered my fan mail with her photo, glossy black and white, signed, "To Gary, best wishes always." Framed on my headboard, it proved I existed more than my birth certificate. Steady, easygoing Joe, witness to loneliness, apocalypse, and madness. In Polanski's L.A., he turned his back to the camera, skimmed his killer line at an uncomprehending world. Forget it, Jake, it's Chinatown. Then faded back into an old movie that runs endlessly in my head. A salesman at the bar in the Tides restaurant who feared not the end of the world, but a woman who demanded against his inertia, who believed something must be done, when to act could only plunge him into screeching chaos. Who arbitrates the famous, sells indulgences to pass the velvet rope and enter our collective dreams? In the feathered logic of filmdom, fame as well as love might never light. But forget it, Joe, it's Chinatown.